For the most part, you guys seem to be really enjoying the new mode, Present Plunder. So here's a tier list with the best and worst brawlers for this mode and why. And after the #1 brawler, I'll also reveal the best team comp for this mode. Let's do it. By the way, if you like tier lists, definitely check out some of the other ones I've done that'll also help you improve at Brawl Stars. All right, back to the video. And of course, big shout out to the Coach Cory Pro Squad who has been grinding this new mode to help make this tier list as accurate as possible. You can follow them down below. All right, starting out with the worst brawlers in Present Plunder. And we're actually gonna do 3 at once because they're all F tier and I do not recommend you really play any of these brawlers in Present Plunder, and I'll explain why. At 32, it's gonna be Barley, 31, Piper, and 30, Jean. All of these brawlers really not worth playing in Present Plunder because they just do not do nearly enough damage. Either the maps do not suit them, Piper, no long range really places available, Jean, just not nearly enough damage, and you don't really wanna be pulling enemies towards you because that can actually help them get closer to the goal. Barley, not enough damage, and you're really not trying to control every single lane. You really gotta stop people and do a lot of damage as possible. Overall, these brawlers are just not meant for Present Plunder. All right, now into the D tier. These brawlers I really don't recommend playing, but if you're playing with 2 other good brawlers for the mode, you can still go on really good streaks. At 29, it's gonna be 8-Bit. 8-Bit, of course, his biggest weakness in this mode is his speed. He's just way too slow to really be that useful. He's not going to help you score goals, and because he's slow, he's also not a good defender because he can't catch up to enemies and he gives up positioning way too well. Now, he does a lot of damage, so it's a good asset in this mode, but he's just too slow to really be that good. Now, let's keep the speed up. We're going to do 2 brawlers in a row here. At 28, it's going to be Dynamite, and at 27, it's going to be Tick. Throwers are really not that good in this mode, as you already see, because you're really not trying to control specific lanes, and also there's so many fast move speed brawlers and really high health brawlers in this mode that are just not good for throwers to face off against. So not only is it not a good mode for them, but they face off versus brawlers that are also really good versus them. So they're definitely not meant for Present Plunder. All right, at 26, it's gonna be B. B is just too low health for this mode to be that good, and overall there's too many walls, and B is more of a long range brawler, and there's not that many long range opportunities for B in Present Plunder. Just not a great defender, not a great offense. Now, B can be good versus tanks, can use her super to slow them down and then spam shots on them and do a lot of damage, but overall doesn't really get the opportunities you would want and just too low health to really be that good for Present Plunder. 25 is Brock. Brock, pretty similar story to B. Too low health to be that great. Range is not a big asset in this mode. There's so many short range and mid range interactions that Brock is just not able to win nearly as much as you would want, and he's not a great defender or offensive person either. Now 24, and the last brawler in the D tier is gonna be Penny. Penny, you're probably noticing high damage is really key in this mode, and control brawlers are not that great in this mode for the most part. And Penny, her cannon just really not needed in this mode. You want stuff that's more instant offense, and the cannon is a control brawler that's great if you're trying to control every single lane, and Penny, this is just not a mode where that's gonna be a good thing. All right, now we're in the C tier. These brawlers have attributes that are definitely good for the mode, but also have some definite weaknesses as well. At 23, it's gonna be Colt. Now, Colt has the ability to be a really good defender in this mode, as he has the movement, speed, storm power, and he can dish out a ton of damage, but these maps are horrible for Colt for the most part. Way too many walls for Colt to actually be able to hit that many shots in a row. If you can open up the map or have a specific map where you can just gun down people as you see in the gameplay, otherwise Colt is just not a good brawler from this mode. At 22, it's gonna be Poco. Now, Poco is gonna be a brawler that can help you score a lot of goals, but is a horrible defender. Just does almost no damage. So I mean, Poco, you can help get more goals with Poco, but it's really a base race when you play Poco. So kind of an brawler. At 20, it's gonna be Pam. Now, Pam has some good attributes for this mode, like the ability to do a lot of damage in short to medium range interactions and a lot of health, so it can help score goals for sure, but overall, the walls are not that great for Pam, and just not really the turret. You're moving up and down so fast on the map, not always gonna be useful. Now, at 20, it's gonna be Carl. Now, Carl has some things that are solid for this mode, like really high health and a super that can help him maneuver up and down the map, but Carl's a brawler that really feasts on low low to medium health brawlers, and there's not that many low health brawlers in this mode that Carl can just dominate on and use his super on really well. A lot of tanks and brawlers that are good in close range, and Carl doesn't really enjoy that much. So he has some solid stuff, but overall just okay. At 19, it's gonna be Bo. Now, Bo's mines can be really useful in present Plunder, either as offense or defense, mostly as defense, especially with Snare Bear, but sometimes you'll find you place those mines down and then you don't always get use out of them if you're actually doing really well, which is unfortunate because you place them down defense and then you're dominating the enemy and then your mines aren't useful. But overall, Bo just doesn't have enough damage to really be that useful in this mode. That's gonna be his main weakness. At 18, and the last brawler in the C tier is going to be Crow. Crow can have some solid stuff in this mode, like he's got a fast move speed, and if you dominate the enemy and you team wipe them, or there's just an opening, you can go ahead and jump in on the enemy's gift and take that out of their spawn and bring it a lot closer to yours, especially with that fast move speed. So he can be good in that regard, but overall, his health is too low to always be that great, and he doesn't have quite enough damage to really be that useful in this mode. So he can be pretty solid, but he's not that great. All right, now we're in the B tier. These are all recommended brawlers to play, although they still have some weaknesses. At 17, it's going to be Spike. There's a lot of tanks in this mode, which will make you think Spike is great in this mode. But as you saw with the throwers, controlling lanes is really not a big thing with Spike. And a lot of times people can zoom past him, but also Spike is too low health, and having high health can be really important in this mode to help score presents. You really want to have most of the people on your team have the ability to get a present and score, or at least help out, because not only do you want to be able to get presents, but you also want to be able to get to a present that is out of the spawn so you can reset the timer, and Spike is not good at doing that. So while he can be a pretty good defender, he's not perfect in this mode. At 16, it's going to be BB. Now, BB has a lot of brawlers that she doesn't match up that well against in this mode, but she can be a not bad defender, at least knocking people away from the present. She's not really going to completely stop someone from taking the present, as she's not great versus tanks, and she's going to face them a lot in this mode. But she does have the speed star power that can help her really zoom around the map and help score presents. So that's definitely her best thing in this mode. Now at 15, it's going to be Rico. Now Rico, with the speed star power, is one of the best defenders in this mode. If he gets low health, he can really zoom around the map and help stop people from scoring. So he's actually a pretty good defender, but his low health, again, makes him not an amazing brawler in this mode. It's going to make it a little hard to score presents, although if there's an opening and you got the speed zoomy zoom, you can zoom around the map and maybe score a goal. Now at 14, it's going to be Bull. Now I have Bull as one of the worst tanks, although he's still B tier in 14. Partly because his super is not the best for this mode. You can, of course, super in from a direct distance, from a specific distance away right to the present, but of course, you can also be shot while you're supering. It's incredibly obvious if you're trying to do that sort of thing. He can be a not bad defender, and of course high health is good in this mode, so he definitely has some really solid attributes. High health, can defend somewhat well if it's pretty obvious where they're trying to go, and he's got a faster than normal move speed, so he has some solid stuff, but he's definitely not perfect for this. At 13, it's going to be Leon. Now Leon, with his super and the speed star power, can be pretty dang good at scoring presents. The main weakness with Leon is his somewhat low health, and he's not the best defender. Now, it does decent damage in close range, so that's pretty solid, but of course, he doesn't have the highest health to stay alive for that long to really defend incredibly well. At 12, it's going to be the new brawler, Max. Now, this is definitely Max's best mode. So, Max, not the strongest brawler right now, but in present Plunder, she's pretty dang good. With that speed super, she can help score a lot of goals, either for herself or for her teammates. Just making you or one of your other teammates a lot faster can definitely help score goals, but she's not really a good defender. She doesn't do a lot of overall damage. Really, Max is just a really good support brawler in helping to score goals. Now at 11, it's going to be Frank. Now Frank has a lot of solid attributes, incredibly high health, the highest health in the game, and a faster than normal move speed, so he can help score goals in that regard, but every time he attacks, he stops, which is really bad in this mode, because if someone is escaping with the present and you gotta stop every time you attack them, it's gonna be hard to really stop them. Now, he does have a super that can be really useful in this mode, and that is really the thing that makes him a good defender, is that super. He can completely demolish enemy teams and just a really threatening super. So Frank is still overall a good brawler in this mode, even though he has that big weakness of stopping every time he attacks. Now the last brawler in the B tier. And at number 10 is gonna be Mortis. Now Mortis is one of the most used brawlers in this mode for obvious reasons, because he's a brawler that you can clearly see is good at scoring the present. I keep saying scoring goals. Let's just call it scoring goals. It's basically a goal. Scoring the present, especially with Coiled Snake, he can zoom past enemies, get the present, and then try to dash on out. Now, he's an incredibly bad defender, which is partly why he's at number 10. Horrible defender. He's not really going to help defend goals at all. He is a purely offensive brawler, and the other thing I will say is he is a high skill cap brawler, which is why he's a B tier brawler. Now you're going to see in the gameplay, I got a pro player playing Mortis, and I'm getting probably carried for a lot of these games because he is really good with Mortis, and he's just a really good player. So if you have a pro player playing Mortis, he's probably closer to A tier, but if you're a more average player, he is really only an offensive brawler, not a good defender, and he's definitely more of a B tier brawler. Alright, now we're in the A tier. These brawlers are all really solid picks that I would definitely recommend you play. At number 9, it's going to be Tara. Now, Tara does have some weaknesses in that she's not doesn't have that much health, and she can dish out a ton of damage immediately at once. But if you slow play her a little bit, build up her super, and you can solo pull people, get really good kills that way. And if you have Healing Shade Star power up, she can help you score presence a lot more easily, build up strong pushes, and once you get her super, she can be a really solid defender. So Tara has some really solid things, mostly just with her super, which makes sense for her. At number 8, it's going to be Sandy. Now, Sandy as an individual brawler is not a good defender, but Sandy is one of the best support brawlers for this mode, and of course it makes sense with her super, oh crap, I already forget what gender Sandy is. This always happens, man. But with Sandy's super, really good at not only stopping goals from being scored, because if the enemy doesn't know where you are, they're going to be a lot more passive about pushing forward up the map, but also helping you score goals as well. So Sandy with the super can be a really good brawler for this mode. At number 7, it's going to be El Primo. Now, El Primo is a lot better than Bull in this mode, specifically because you can direct your super, which not only makes him better at offense, but also defense, so he can completely stop someone who's trying to get away with the present, and he can just stomp on them right away and use his super. And he's also got the extra speed boost with the Meteor Rush, so he can not only super to the goal, but also keep on speeding away with the presence. So El Primo, high health, great super for this mode. He's a good brawler. At number 6 is going to be Jessie. Jessie is actually a really good defender in this mode for a couple reasons. One, there's a lot of tanks and short-range brawlers in this mode which are not good at taking out her turret, and her turret is so good on defense. You put that down around the present, and it's going to stop them from healing up a lot of times, and with her, it's going to be a lot of overall DPS with the turret and her normal attack hitting them. A lot of times you can place that down. Also too, if they take the present out of your spawn, you can place that turret where the present is on the ground and help defend the present from being picked up again. So Jessie, a really good defender in this mode. At number 5, it's going to be Ems. Now, Ems might be the best defender in this mode if it weren't for Mortis having a really high use rate and the next brawler in this tier list. Ems can completely demolish tanks with her. She's one of the best defenders. She can completely shut down lanes, and of course she has the slow down super, so it can stop people from getting away with the present. Ems is a really good pick that I would recommend you play a lot in this mode. But of course, one of the brawlers that counters her is at number 4, and that is Daryl. Daryl with his automatically recharging super is definitely one of the best offensive brawlers in this mode. High health, but also good defender, because you can roll on people who are trying to take away your present, completely knock the present out of their hands, and deal a ton of damage to them at once. So another really good brawler. Now at number 3, what I think is the best tank in this mode has got to be Rosa. And of course, Rosa with her super can be so hard to stop. Anytime you're either just going in to pick up the present and getting it out of the spawn, or if you picked it up and you're trying to escape with it, incredibly hard to stop. Overall, not a bad defender as well, as able to take a lot of damage at once. Now at number 2, it's going to be Nita. Surprising pick, but Nita with her bear can completely push people back and help you score a lot of goals. Also, overall, just can charge up Nita's super a ton throughout present Plunder. As a lot of tanks, you can charge the super on really easy. So Nita should be getting a lot of bears to help you score goals and just push people back, which can be good defensively as well. Now you'll notice there's going to be no S tier brawlers in this tier list. That's partly because this meta is still a little bit undefined, so it's a little bit hard to tell what the complete best brawlers are that dominate others. But the number one brawler is going to be Shelly. Shelly is by far and away the best defender in this mode, unquestionably. Shelly with super completely demolishes everyone who is trying to get your present. Just keep her near your present and she will make it so much harder for the enemy to score goal. Now, as far as the best team comp for present Plunder, a lot of my pros think it's going to be a combination of Shelly with Rosa, and then either having Ems for extra defense or Sandy for a little bit more offense, depending on what your preference is. Those overall brawlers work really well together and are really good in this mode. Definitely check out other great tier lists right over there that'll help you improve at Brawl Stars. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.